Guys, I am back. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here on YouTube. I have been posting TikToks quite consistently if you guys want to follow me over there in case you're missing my consistency here on YouTube. However, I feel like I already said, and if you missed it, I'll say it again, I'm taking a little bit of a step back from YouTube because I want to focus on more long form videos. My next one is still the Gracie Gold video. I just can't figure out what I'm going to do with it. I read her book and I don't know if I want to make a video about the general toxicity of figure skating or if I just want to talk about her story and that's it. So I'm still trying to figure that out. However, in the meantime, I want to just talk to you guys again because I miss you here on YouTube. And also I want to talk about a few topics that people have been wanting me to talk about over here. The main one is the most recent one, the fact that Team USA, the one that got silver and then bumped up to gold due to the Russian doping scandal from the last Olympics 2020, but in reality 2022, finally received their medals today at the Paris Olympics. And I'm just so happy that they got to have their moment at an Olympics in front of a crowd that wasn't even going to happen before because of COVID. And they got it in like the most majestic way. It was with the Eiffel Tower in the background. It was, I don't know if all the medal ceremonies are happening here. I kind of following this Olympics via TikToks and highlight reels on Twitter. As you may well know, I'm more of a Winter Olympics kind of girl because figure skating. But this was a beautiful setting for them. I'm overjoyed about the fact that Team Japan was also there. And I know there's a lot of grievances about Team Canada not being there and why don't they have the bronze? They deserve the bronze if the Russians are taken out. But that's still being debated. It's still in contention within the Court of Arbitration for Sport. They haven't come to a conclusion. Meanwhile, this did come to a conclusion in 2 years. I think the calculation is 30 months since the Olympics, since they kind of were told you're going to have a medal and then they were not given one. Now they finally have their moment, and I am just so happy. I'm going to read the original statement that was put announcing that this was even going to happen. It says, over the past 2.5 years, these 9 athletes have conducted themselves with the dignity and humility in their fight for clean sport and a level playing field across all Olympic sports. We are elated that Evan Bates, Karen Chen, Nathan Chen, Madison Chalk, Zachary Donahue, Brandon Fraser, Madison Hubble, Alexa Knierim, and Vincent Zoe will rightfully be celebrated as gold medalists in Paris, receiving the Olympic moment that they were denied at Beijing 2022. In addition to being proud of these athletes, U.S. Figure Skating would like to thank the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee for the steadfast support in this matter, and in the International Olympic Committee for its commitment to making the ceremony a reality. Now, of course, all the flowers to the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee who made sure they got a moment. For the longest time, there was theories that they were just going to get them here in NBC Studios in New York City. However, the fact that they waited until the Olympics for it to be, and they flew them out to Paris to be received with the honor and the glory that they deserve. I'm so happy. The fact that the IOC got a shout out is very, very interesting because, as you remember, the IOC was very much involved in kind of catching the initial positive test of Kamila Valieva back in 2022. And a lot of people were not happy about their response. They didn't think it was swift. They thought they fumbled the bag by not checking their test earlier. And if it was caught earlier, then Valieva wouldn't have been able to compete and they would have been able to, have the medal ceremony in the moment. Essentially, the whole delaying of the medal ceremony wouldn't have happened if the IOC would have checked the positive test earlier and caught it on earlier. But as we all know, the positive test was not labeled as a priority by Team Tuperice, which is why I wasn't caught on time, or at least that is how the story goes. All that to say that I found it very interesting that the IOC got a shout out because of course they helped organize this event, but also they were the people who fumbled the bag in the beginning, or at least had a part in the fumbling of such bag. And when I say fumble the bag, I mean they fumbled when it came to catching it on time so that Kamila Valieva would not be allowed to participate in the team event. Putting that aside, I am so very happy that all these athletes were able to come back. I'm sure not all of them have been together since that fateful Olympics, and I'm just so happy to see every single one of them. Like Chalk and Bates being Olympic gold medalists makes me so excited because they are one of now the greats of ice dance, if not for me, one of the favorites for the next Olympics because they have the name, they have recognition, now they have a gold medal. Their story coming into this next Olympics in 2026 is going to be like they're walking down a very similar road that other Olympic gold medalists have gotten before, and I'm cheering for them in the individual event with Papadakis and Cizeron being retired and Tess and Scott being retired. The floor is theirs. It is their gold to lose in my eyes. I know that there are other beautiful ice dance couples out there, but this one is the one that I'm rooting for, Chalk and Bates. Nathan Chen finally having his 2 gold medals on his neck is beautiful because he obviously got his gold medal moment back in 2022, but didn't really have a home crowd in his family. I'm not sure if their family got flown out, but I'm sure some of them did. And I'm so happy that Nathan Chen just gets to have this crowd moment that he was denied back before, even though he did get a gold medal moment. Hubble and Donahue, which we haven't seen on the ice together, I'm pretty sure they retired, which people found very surprising since, Tess and Scott are gone, Papadak and Cizeron are gone, so the medal is out there to take for a new kind of superstar to appear, and they retired, I'm pretty sure, and now we see them back for this gold medal. And then with Vincent So, his story is the one that touched me the most, because if you remember, he probably had one of the saddest experiences the last Olympics. He had that very sad, kind of awkward video of him just sitting down on a webcam and explaining that he was not going to be able to compete because he got COVID. He was one of those devastating athletes that just because of a COVID test were not allowed to participate, and had nothing to do with them. They followed all the COVID protocols, but for some reason they still tested positive. Maybe somebody else didn't follow the protocol, or it just so happened he had bad luck. But he was not allowed to compete in let me double check this. I believe he was not allowed to compete in the team event. Or was it the individual event? Let me refresh my mind real quick. Yes, so Vincent So announced that he will be unable to compete in the men's competition due to testing positive for COVID. Yeah, he was able to be in the team event, I believe, but had to drop out of the men's singles event after a positive COVID-19 test. But essentially, he went from having the sad Olympic experience due to elements that were completely out of his control to now standing here with a gold medal around his neck. And it's just incredible to kind of go from that very low, sad Olympic experience to this. And I know this is not his Olympics, but it might as well be. It's still his moment and their moment. And then Team Japan just makes me happy. They are jumping, holding hands. They're having the best time of their lives. And I'm so happy they could be there to get their silver medals and that the world was there to clap and just cheer them on. And I mentioned this on TikTok as well, but I'm so excited about the fact that we now have a gold medal winning USA figure skating team, because now I think that's going to make people more excited about the next Olympics. And I'm very excited about the next Olympics because I think that the Team USA has very good podium contenders in 3 disciplines, which hasn't happened in a very long time. Like, USA is not dominant in figure skating at all. It has been dominated by the Russians and the Japanese every single Olympics, for both men's and ladies, and pairs, obviously Russians. So ice dance is kind of like the only one that they were kind of there in, but even just podium and is very, very rare. Like the Sibs podiumed, but that's basically it. And I'm just so excited because in the ladies we have Isabeau, which is probably the discipline that's going to get the US crowd. If we're being honest, they only really care about the ladies. And so when we have a good ladies contender, people really get into it. Like, really get into it. And she is, I believe, half Italian from her mom. So she already has that story going on there, and it's going to happen in Italy. Like, Isabeau is set to be a star of this Olympics, kind of like how Adam Rippon was the breakout star of the 2018 Olympics, and people, I'm pretty sure most of the general crowd thinks he won a medal, even though he didn't, but he was such a main focus of that Olympic that he became a very big star, and celebrities were like tweeting at him and whatever. I think Isabeau has the potential to do that, and she has a chance for a medal. I really think she does. It is kind of contingent on the fact that other people mess up, I think, a little bit, but she might be bronze, I think. And then in ice dance, Chalk and Bates, I think, could take the gold or the silver if they put their heads to it in their individual competitions. And going in with already gold medals around their necks, oof, the motivation, the determination, like show-stopping. Like, they have now a very, very interesting story to tell in the media. I'm just here thinking as like a PR person, how we can elevate figure skating into the mainstream of US pop culture. And I think these stories they're just great stories to tell. Like Chalk and Bates being a real life couple, going through this odyssey of getting these gold medals, finally getting them at this Olympics, only to then maybe attain a second pair of gold medals as a couple, like they're set to be stars as well. And then, of course, we have the star of stars, Ilya Malinin, who will definitely podium. It is his gold medal to lose, I think, just because of the fact that he can do the quad axel. If he does it in Olympics, it would be insane. Like, Ilya Malinin will be a major, major focus, just how Nathan Chen was back in 2018 and also in 2022. So the combination of Ilya, Chalk and Bates, and Isabeau, oh my God, am I excited for the next Olympics. I really wish I'm somehow going to try to go. My dream would be to go and like interview the skaters themselves, but that is a long shot. NBC, I'm here if you want me. But I'm just so excited about the next Olympics, and seeing this team get their gold medals made me that excited, because I was just like, oh my god, I want to be Winter Olympics so bad. It just reminded me how fun the Olympics are when you care, and I only care about the Winter Olympics and figure skating. But yeah, that's that. Let me know how you guys feel about them getting their medals. Tell me if you felt as overjoyed as I did. Are you still a little bit bummed that Canada isn't there? Should they be there? Do you think they're gonna get that bronze medal? Is that gonna end up in another appeal from Russia? Who knows? I'm just like happy. It's a happy day. And tell me how you feel about 2026 Milano, because I am already prepping. Like, seeing this figure skating team or anything figure skating during this Olympics got me so excited. I'm so excited for Milano, and I can't wait to see what the hell is gonna go wrong, because something always goes wrong. But if the Russians are not there, maybe it won't. Are the Russians gonna be there? Who knows, honestly. Speaking of the Russians, the other topic that a lot of people wanted me to talk about is about Miss Sasha Trusova. I think I mentioned in my last video, or maybe it was on TikTok, I can't remember, that there were rumors swirling around that Alexandra Trusova was going back into competition. This surprised me, because I thought that she had basically soft retired once her boyfriend had proposed to her. If you remember, this young girl got proposed to by her surprise boyfriend, only rumored boyfriend, kind of confirmed via fan cam videos of them on boards like kissing and stuff, but they had never posted a picture together. And now they've essentially become a TikTok couple. They cannot stop making video content of them dancing together. They're surely in the honeymoon phase, but it's so funny that they were basically a secret couple, announced to the world they were a couple through an engagement, and now they've become a very, very public TikTok couple that all they do is do dance videos on Instagram Reels and TikTok. Like, what? That is a crazy trajectory to have. But anyways, putting that aside, the internet kind of lost its mind when Alexandra Trusova posted a quadruple Lutz. The fact that she can still do quads, one, is crazy, wow. And the fact that she posted this leads people to believe that she is training intensely, as if she's going back into competition. And while it surprised me that she was going back into competition after getting married, it also didn't surprise me when I thought about it a little bit longer, because the reality is that figure skating in Russia is losing popularity because of the fact that they're not allowed in international competitions, and they're not kind of gaining new stars, and their old stars are soft retiring, a la Anna Sherbakova, Alina Sagitova. They're losing stars by a lot. And so bringing back Alexandra Trusova, the federation encouraging her to be back, promising her maybe some sort of like, I don't know, deals, whether it be promotional or like athletic deals, for her to come back, it makes sense. They need a star this season. And sadly, I don't think that Akatieva and Adelia are sticking with the public. It may be because they don't have any international titles and they haven't proven themselves on the international stage, but Akatieva has kind of been riddled with injuries, so we've never really seen her at her full potential. Kamila Valieva freaking jumped into superstardom and kind of maintained that crown that was supposed to be passed along to Akatieva, who was kind of promised to be the next heir in the line, kind of like Kamila was to Alina, and Alina was to Zhenya. And then Petrosian doesn't really have that it factor. Like, I've never seen the crowd kind of take to her. She has never really proven herself to win consistently a bunch of competitions. She has won in the past, but she hasn't become as dominant as the new heir is supposed to become when it comes to these Tutberidze Eteri girls. And so bringing back Sasha Trusova, someone who very vocally was not happy with silver, and making her compete again, or her wanting to compete again, makes sense for her story, because she is that very much competitive skater, and I can see her wanting to prove herself even more. I don't know if she's trying for the Olympics, because again, we don't know if Russia is going to be allowed in the Olympics, but I will say Camila's ban does come out stopped or come down or end in 2025, technically, because the years while they were investigating were counted towards her ban, essentially, her disqualifications. So she has already served a lot of her years, and if they are back allowed into the Olympics, Camila would be valid, and that would be so messy, so messy. I don't think they're even going to try that, because I think by then I don't think Camila Valieva is training as hard as Alexandra Trusova is training, or at least I don't see it. Camila Valieva has kind of also self-retired, followed the path of the show skates and the presentational skates, and she has chosen the influencer trajectory that Evgenia and Alina and Anna Shevakova have taken. But on the other hand, the married women, I can't believe I'm saying that, Aliona Kostornaya and Alexandra Trusova, have very much stayed in the competition, which is very, very interesting to see. Meanwhile, these single young ladies have become influencers. But I don't know. I don't know if Alexandra Trusova is coming back. It is very, very impressive that she can still do a quad lutz. And it leads me to believe that she is showing it off because she is going to be at test gates and it's going to do the Russian competitive season. However, is that going to allow her to qualify for the Olympics? Is she trying for the Olympics? I'm more doubtful about that. I don't think that's the route it's going. But I do think that she has very consciously maintained her training at a competitive level. So she is definitely going to do the Russian circuit. Is it going to last one more year? And could it make her eligible for the Olympics? If Russia is allowed back, who knows? I genuinely don't think it could go for her that way. But if not her, then who? Petrosian? Akatieva? Valieva? I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. The state of Russian skating. Would they even be allowed into the next Olympics? Are they going to lobby hard for it? I don't know. I think as long as the war is going on, they're not going to be allowed back. And that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. The world is a chaotic, chaotic place right now. And figure skating is the least of everyone's worries. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very happy that I'm back on YouTube talking to you guys. I miss you. Hopefully I have another long form storytelling video I don't want to make any promises, but in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I will talk to you guys later. As always, shout out to Natalia, Leslie, Timothy, Tori, and V, and follow me on TikTok. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.